Hi guys, good evening, good afternoon, good morning everybody. How are you today? I hope I'm finding you in a great mood. My name is Maria and I'm an aspiring astrologer, and I'm somebody who is very passionate about what she's doing. And today I have prepared for you a very, very interesting topic, which is not only astrological but also spiritual, philosophical, and in a way religious as well. So, in my last videos, we were talking about lots of different things. How can your birth chart help you? Yeah, if you know the things if you know your birth chart, and if you know how to read your birth chart, because everything is really there. So we talked about your potentials, your love life, your characteristics as a person, where your blockages are, where your challenges. Potentials, what your talents, and everything really. And today we're going to talk about one kind of a low vibration of ourselves. We are going to talk about something that is a sin or vice in us, because we all have this, because we are not deities, we are not gods, we are just human beings, and we all have our things that we need to deal with. So if you remember how a birth chart looks like, so this would be a birth chart for somebody born anywhere, anytime. So to make this wheel of fortune, I call it, you need date of birth, time of birth, place of birth, and basically the positions of the planets in different houses, in different signs, and the aspect they make. They will tell you a lot about yourself, and this is your individual horoscope, individual telling reading for you, because general horoscopes are very general, and I know many people do not believe in astrology just because of that, because general horoscopes are made usually according to the ascendant, not even the sun sign. And basically there are millions of people with the same sign, so they're very, very general, and they're just made very easy to reach the public, really. And what is really for you and especially for you is your personal birth chart, that actually can tell you a lot about you, a lot about your family, your parents, your grandparents, your ancestry. The highest you can be, the highest you can reach in this life, what you've been in your previous life, what's your mission in this life, how to deal with it, and many, many different things. So this is like a whole really science that's probably several lives are needed to be learned for. So anyways, as I said, in our birth chart, we can see lots of things. So last time we talked about potentials, like the midheaven, or how to choose a career. So if you haven't seen that video, go back and see it. And today we're going to talk about some things which is opposite our potentials, and this would be our kind of weaknesses or vices. So basically the dark side of us. And as I said, we all have it. So this is, as I mentioned, kind of religious topic. So the topic, the theme about the seven deadly sins, roots in the ancient times, and the seven deadly sins were actually revised several times through the history. But the current seven deadly sins that we have today were revised last by the Pope Gregory I in the 6th century. And yes, we have today, and I will tell them which ones are they. So today I'm going to make a comparison between those vices that we have, how they're connected to the different planets. And in the ancient times, only 7 planets were known, because there are only visible 7 planets until to Saturn, and the trans-Saturnian planets have really discovered in the 19th century, much later. So nothing is by coincidence, really. There's 7 days of the week, 7 deadly sins. So everything is for reason. So if you haven't thought about that, also everything has meaning. And actually there's I have a video about how every day is named in English. So through presentation, that's a bit my older video from a year ago. But anyways, you can see how the 7 days are named after the 7 traditional planets. And today we're going to compare the 7 traditional planets with the 7 deadly sins. So let's see what is a sin first. So according to the law of universe, a sin is a time when we break the universal law, so when we go against the law, and those breaks of the law actually can lead us to illnesses, because they can be too much of something. So after we have too much of something that we need, it can go into illnesses and weaknesses of our soul as well. So as I said, we're not deities, so we'll have them. So consciously, subconsciously, and no matter if we want to say them or not say them, basically we cannot hide anything from the universe and ourselves. So maybe you will find yourself in some of these, and I'm sure, yes, we all have at least 2 of them, of those 7 sins. So the sins are actually temptations of the soul. So when our soul is tempted to do something or not do something, for example, it's always like you have a little angel on your right shoulder and a little devil on your left shoulder. And the angel says, don't eat the cake, you don't need it, you're going to get fat. And the devil says, eat it. So we all experience these temptations, really. And yes, who made the original sin? Yes, you already know that, but I really like talking about this. So, from the Bible, the first sin, the original sin, was made by a woman, actually. That's Eve, when she ate from the forbidden tree. And that's how God punished the humanity. And he said, you're not going to be like me, you're going to be different. So that's why we're human beings. We are not deities. Yes. And we're still sinful. Yeah. And probably we're going to be for another thousands and thousands of years until we really, until we come many times to the earth and experience many things, many emotions, and we get to this wisdom stage of our souls. But it needs thousands of reincarnations to do that, really. Yes, so when we talk about the 7 deadly sins, I would like to mention one book, which actually I came across that book when I was high school. And then after starting doing some research, I decided to buy this book. And this is actually a book from Dante Alighieri, and it's the Divine Comedy. And in this book, Dante actually describes, this book is divided into 3 parts. So it's hell, purgatory, and heaven, which is Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso in Italian, I think. So he describes how the soul, once the soul separates from the body and the soul goes into the heavens, what happens to that soul? So the soul goes, so he describes the 7 deadly sins like 7 terraces, and the soul goes through all of them, and the soul is really tempted to do all these sins. So it depends on the soul if it will resist the temptations and come to the highest level, or it will go back to the previous terror. So it's very interesting, and if you haven't came across it, please do read it, because there it is very nicely explained about all the sins and what happens when we die. But also, I think I made a video about this, what happens when our soul separates from the body and the mind. You remember the cross of matter and how we connect to the universe, and how do we come back as well. Okay. So we live today in a very, very material world, unfortunately. So you're witnesses that in the last, I don't know how many years, decades, possessions like material possessions became number one in the world, and only people who have these possessions like money, expensive things, luxury, they think they're in the high society, and this is what became like a value number one in the world. But obviously this shouldn't be the case, because there are much more important things in life than than material possessions, than the expensive bags and shoes and cars. Because when we leave this earth, we don't take anything with us, really. We just take our soul. And what is important really is what we have experienced as souls on this earth, what we have learned, if our souls have evolved to the next level, higher level or not. So this is what is really important. And if you all guys wondered why 2020 on earth happened, like we lived so happily on the earth, well, not really, because we actually we hit the bottom, and we were also sinful, and we were doing all these sins that we're going to talk today about them. So the universe had just to stop us from doing whatever we do, and the universe had to close us at home with our families and made us really think about the life, about the philosophy of life. So many people changed their lives. Many people made changes in life, which are obviously for our good. So if we haven't done it, let's say the good way, now we had to do it in the more challenging way. So many people changed their jobs. Many people relocated, and this is actually what is. This is the real outcome that we should be doing, really. Okay, shall we start? So we're starting sorry from the first one. So the first, I chose it to be first, and I'll tell you why later. The first sin that I've chosen is the sin of pride. So pride means that you're pleased with yourself, and you really want to show this to the other people. You want to show them that you're number one, that you have a good car, that it's basically showing off and boasting to the world. And underneath, really, there is some weak ego. There is a person who is not confident in himself, and that's why he really wants to say, well, look at me, I'm the best. Because there is like inferiority complex in this person. And here, obviously, there are issues with ego. So this person feels that he's not good enough, but that's subconsciously. So on the conscious level, he would like to prove himself and other people that he's good. Because the people who are really worthy, they don't really show themselves. Like the people whose value is really high, you can never say that these people are so wise or even rich, or because they're very modest. So if you see somebody showing off himself, it means usually that this person is so weak. He's not actually happy with himself, so he just wants to show this to other people and show his pride. So the planet connected to pride in astrology, you can probably guess, is the sun. And sun is the center of the solar system. That's why when we are proud of something, we want to be, in the center of the universe, want to make drama, like everybody to look at us. And obviously the Leo as an energy, because sun rules with Leo, Leo would be the sign of pride. But in general, all fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, they have very strong ego. Although with Sun in the Aries is the strongest, and we have talked about this in my previous video. In general, all fire signs have this strong ego. And now, of course, having ego is not can be a good thing as well, but here we need to make difference between healthy ego and unhealthy ego, because when we have healthy ego, it means that we're aware of our worth, we know our value, and we use our skills and our qualities to go ahead. And on the other hand, we have the unhealthy ego, where actually lots of fears and insecurity in us make us really boast to the world. So we need to make difference between these two types of showing our ego. And so the sun, yes, shows our ego, our self-identity in the birth chart. So if you look at the position of your sun, in the sun and in the house, this shows the sun in your birth chart, shows your identity, your conscious self, what you want as a person. And the sun also represents our father as well, because our father is the authority figure in our lives. And we consciously or subconsciously, we aim to be like our fathers. That's why it is very important what type of father you have, because you will be kind of copying this identity, this sun, from him. So when the sun has challenging aspects with Mars or with Pluto, those people have this unchallenging aspect, means squares and oppositions, and they are represented by red lines in your birth chart. So you have, oppositions would be 180 degrees, squares is 90 degrees. So look at your sun and see if your sun makes red aspects, oppositions or squares with other planets. So we said usually with Pluto or Mars, here we talk about something that we are not secure in ourselves, we don't feel worthy, and we, on the other hand, we want to show this to the world. We want to show our ego that we are value, that we have worth. So this would be the not very good level of ego. But of course, all those things, challenging aspects, we have to work on them obviously, and we can improve them if we want to. But how we can improve them? Only by raising our consciousness, going deep into our subconsciousness, which is our moon. We talked about this as well. And that's how we can raise our level of consciousness. We can reach to spirituality, and that is how we can actually improve the level of our souls. So also Aries ascendant people, they can have this trait of, or characteristic of being like egoistic. They want to go first, they think they're the best. And obviously, as I said, here it needs to be seen whether this egoism is healthy or unhealthy. So the planet that represents pride is Sun. And if your Sun is challenged by challenging aspects, opposition squares from Mars, Pluto, then think about yourself. Think about if you have this sin in you. And obviously, if you find out that you have it, you need to work on it in order to improve yourself, because that's why we are here, to improve all our challenging aspects. So we can't say, I was born with this position of the planet, so this is it. Well, no, we have to work. And we're going to come as well to the scene that it's opposite of hard work at the end. Right. So yeah, here I made a note that the first scene of pride made, Lucifer. So he was angel from the God's angels. And then because he was proud, he said, well, you're not better than me. He had this unhealthy ego, and he confronted God, and then he became demon. So this Lucifer guy, angel, demon, he made the first sin of pride. The sun. So that was the sun and the pride. And the second one that I chose for you is gluttony. So gluttony, or overeating, eating more than we need. is very common today as well, especially in the Western world. And obviously, there's psychological explanation behind this. And this has to do with emotions. So usually when people don't feel loved, when people have chaos of emotions, they have lack of self-love, they then decide to eat or overeat or even overdrink, and they think that they can replace this whole of emotions with food. Well, no, because this can lead to other problems like domino effect. So signs in general, signs that are prone to overeating and being overweight are the water signs, because they're very, very much emotional, and it's very difficult to live with all these emotions in this material world. So these people just close in themselves, they become introvert, and they start eating. So if you have children who are water signs, pay attention to them, because especially if they gain weight, pay attention to them, talk with them. Water signs need to learn. In general, everybody, we all have to know how to deal with our emotions, but especially water signs, this is their general characteristic. They should learn how to deal with these emotions, express the emotions, and help themselves in that way, because this can only lead to the depression and other first is the psyche illness, and then the psychosomatic illnesses. So the soma is the body. So first it starts with the soul, with the mind, and then it goes to the body. So this pain materialize in the body. So the planet that is connected to gluttony and overeating is the moon, because the moon is the mother, the subconscious. The moon represents our emotions in the birth chart. The moon also represents our mother. So see, our mothers can be, they can have a lot of influence on their children in the way how they eat. So moms, be careful with your children. Don't make them overeat. Give them love, actual love. Don't replace your love with food or even material things. Yes. So the moon, we said, is because moon also represents food in astrology. So food and emotions. So if the moon makes challenging aspects, again, oppositions and squares with other planets, especially Jupiter. So with Jupiter can be this overeating or eating when you feel lonely or you don't feel loved. Then challenging aspects with the sun as well, or moon with Neptune. So with Neptune, it can be very delicate position, square, moon with Neptune, because here depression comes, or even like alcohol, because Neptune can be taking all these substances. So when our subconscious is really disappointed of this life, or not happy, or not feel loved, so it's basically issues with emotions. This person can throw himself into overeating or over drinking, because in that case they think that they can escape the reality and the real pain of this world. They can replace the not being loved with food or drink, and that can, so basically, this is one of the sins. And obviously every sin leads to, as I said, to different problems with the body. Oh, I have comments, sorry. So Eva, hi Eva, Eva is here. Ivanka, Janica, Violetka, Stanislava, hello Gary. Great set, thank you Maria, always such a pleasure listening to you. Hi Gary, yeah, sorry I didn't see your comments. I thought nobody is watching me, guys. Thank you for watching. This is so true. I love your perspective. It makes perfect sense. Yes, emotions are very important, Gary, because we live in this material world and we all want to be masculine. And to be masculine means to first to be slim, to be strong, not to be emotional, not to show emotions. And we are all emotions. We are all yin and yang energy. So even men, obviously, they have emotions, but we all suppress our emotions. So this can lead to disappointments, to addictions. Food is addiction as well, like eating sweets and chocolates is addiction as well. And we know that, especially this is true with the Western world like US. Yeah, and there's one very how to say interesting position, which is square between the Moon and Venus. And because Venus is sweet and Moon is food, these people can have a sweet tooth. English say, "Oh, eat a lot of sweets." So look at your chart, or you can guess if you really like eating sweets and chocolates and cakes. You might have this square between the Moon and Venus, and think about what's in the background of making you eating sweets. Think about your emotions. Think about, are you happy in life? Think, you need to change something in your emotional world, in your feminine world, because emotion is the feminine energy. And also psychologists, the research proved that people who are not like fully happy in their life, they throw to sugar, and sugar is addiction. So Moon Venus square is this sugar addiction. And so in general, we said all water signs are prone to this overeating because of the emotions, because of the Moon. But Moon rules Cancer as a sign. So Cancer would be Cancer is a very fragile sign, and they are very prone to these addictions as well. And Pisces as well. So in general, all water signs, Cancer and Pisces mostly. Okay, so here found one proverb of Hippocrates. He says, he said ages ago, like centuries ago, that let the food be thy medicine, and thy medicine thy food. So, which means that we need to basically we need to use the food as our medicine, and we need to as medicine we need to eat food. So we need to eat healthy, we need to eat a little, because we don't take a lot of medicine, we take little medicine. So basically we need to eat to live, not to live to eat. Yes. So this is very, very important, and it's a very big problem of the like obesity is very big problem of the Western world, especially in the US. Okay, another planet that is connected to like luxury and overeating and abundance and enjoyment is Venus as well, and Taurus also. We would mention the energy of Taurus here, because Taurus wants to enjoy the world, the nature through the five senses. So one of these would be food, good food. So Taurus people like good food. So not necessarily all Taurus people really overeat, but in general they're good. They are gourmands, and you can please Taurus person with a good food, no matter what have you done to him before that. So ladies, pay attention. Right. So what would be opposite of gluttony? So if if somebody is aware that he has this sin of gluttony, so he should try to do the opposite. And the opposite would be temperance or fasting or abstinence of food. And traditionally in every religion, several times per year, there are this fasting period where actually we clean our body. So this is not only for religious purposes, this is also for health purposes. So it is very important to do that, and drink also a lot of water. Right. Next one that I prepared for you is the next thing is envy. So envy is a case where we We are not happy with what we have. What we have is in possession of somebody else, and we desperately want and desire for something that is not ours. So we desire to have something, yes, that is not ours. And the first sin of envy was again made from the Bible by the two brothers. See how envy can be disastrous. By the two brothers, Cain and Abel, because they were both shepherds. One was farmer, one was agriculture or something like that. So they were giving sacrifices to God, and God was pleased more with one of them. So basically, one of the brothers killed the other because of jealousy and envy. So this is a proof that actually envy can be really, really destructive and dangerous. So, and this usually happens in the the smaller countries where the economy is not very good. So people really they just don't look in their yard. They just prefer to look in the neighbor's yard, and this is where all the problems start. So we are all unique. We all need to be happy with what we have, and this also has to do with the 3D world, the old world, because according to this collective consciousness, everybody needs to have this, and this. Everybody should have made that to this age. So if your neighbor did that according to the collective norm, but you haven't, then you start envy him. But we need to understand that we're different. So whatever your neighbor needs, you probably don't need it, because you're different, so you have different mission. But obviously for this we need to be like on a higher spiritual level. We need to know ourselves, and many people, they don't know themselves. They're really scared to know themselves. So this is the origin and the root of the problem. So one thing that again 2020 made us to do is, guys, know thyself. You need to learn who you are, why you're here, what you want. Stop looking at others. Look at yourself. Not even like the people around you, like your family. It's about us. It's about the authority, finding the authority in us. And I will make a video about Saturn-Pluto conjunction the last year and for the next 5 years as well, because I'm jumping from topic to topic. So I would like to share with you so many things. So envy has to do also with low self-esteem and basic level of consciousness, low spirituality. So see, in the root of everything is this weak personality, not being happy with yourself, not feeling worth. So instead of looking at others, what others have, we should just start gaining our own skills and knowledge and improve ourselves, because we're wasting a lot of energy on this envy or other things. And instead of that one, we can use this energy to really improve ourselves. So again, 2020 was brilliant for this, and many people woke up, and I hope even more will do as well. Okay, so planet connected to envy in astrology. Well, from the 7 traditional planet, I found that Mercury is kind of connected to envy, because Mercury is a young person, he's a trickster, but the planet that really describes envy is Pluto, because Pluto has to do with subconscious power, with manias, with obsession. And obviously here we talk about like a very deep envy, when somebody's really feels even anger, is very upset, and this has to do with Pluto. And we talk about Pluto, we talk about very deep things, subconscious things that are not visible in general, and things that actually can kill this person, because Pluto rules with the 8th house of death as well. So with Pluto especially, we have to be really, really careful, because Pluto can take us to the sky, or bring us to the bottom and destroy us, literally. So So as an energy, as a sign, the constellation of Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. So with Scorpio, we also have this control, obsession. So challenging aspects with this energy can make a person to have this sin, envy as well. So usually Mars in square with Pluto would give this, because this person, well, with Pluto we talk about subconscious issues, with Mars we talk about acting, but here there's kind of not being able to act, or there's some anger here, and this person cannot do anything, but he's just looking into what others do. And usually actually Mars square Pluto is very challenging aspect, and it is highly recommendable for those people to work with their subconsciousness, to talk to psychologists, to do psychoanalysis, and work really hard with this, because this can be very, very destructive aspect. It's not impossible. Obviously, it is more difficult. You can deal with it, but it needs work. It needs really work. It needs first to be brought from the subconscious to the conscious level, and then to work with this aspect. So with envy, the opposite thing would be kindness, to be kind and to wish well and to be happy when somebody else has something. For example, if you would like to have a car, you don't have a car, but your neighbor buys a car, you need to raise your consciousness to so much high level that you need to be very happy with him. And only then, if you are happy for him from the bottom of your heart, the universe will bring you the same thing to you. But we really, to get to this level, we really need to work with our personality. Okay, the next sin is lust. So lust is actually passion, desire to be with somebody on a physical level, promiscuity as well. So unfortunately, in today's world, lust or sex is thought to be love. Well, no, these are very, very different things. So usually in the background, subconsciously, people who are who has this sin of promiscuity, they're actually very, very lonely in themselves, and they are desperate for emotions and love. So they think that if you go around and sleep around, they will fill this hole. But no, it's going even deeper and deeper, because sex is one of the ways that we exchange energy, like deep energy with somebody. So if you're connected to this person on a spiritual level, it means that if you love this person, it's a great thing, because this is the act when a new soul can be born. But if this act, physical act, is just with a random person that you don't feel any connection to this person, then this can actually, his energy can actually destroy you, because you absorb this like bad energy from other people, and this bad energy can do a lot of bad things in your body. So that's why yes, all the values in this world, in this material world, are really curved. We see them through a crooked mirror. So that's why, again, 2020 was wonderful for that, so we can reevaluate our values and see what is really, what has quality and value really, and what has not. So last, yes, and for next one. So the planets, here I would put two planets, so that deal with this sin, and that would be Mars and Venus. And Mars and Venus, in challenging aspects, which means opposition again, square, or even conjunction, can give very challenging. It's kind of very difficult aspect for love in general. So I've seen people with Mars and Venus in conflict in their birth chart who find it very difficult to connect to other people. So there might be like a strong physical connection, which is the sex, but then the emotion, they lack this emotion. So there is a problem here, because the Mars, Mars is the masculine energy in us, Venus is the feminine energy. So when these two energies are in conflict, it means that, well, something is wrong here, and this person is in conflict with himself, so this person cannot attract the right person. So again, here a lot of work is needed on this person. And it takes at least 30 years, 36 to 40 years to get to know ourselves, to get to know what we want, what our souls want. Yes, I talk about this in my video about Saturn return. So if you want to know more about this, go back to that video. So also Mars in the 8th house, Mars in Venus in the 8th house or in Scorpio energy can also be connected to lust. So as we said, there could be this element of promiscuity, but then there are problems with emotions and like real love. So sex is not love. And these people think that the more they sleep around, the more they feel loved. Well, no, they're just feeling their depth of emotions. So remedy for this sin would be celibate, abstinence, or chastity. So to be clean, to clean yourself from other auras, not to mix your aura with other people. So let yourself some time, a few weeks, few months to clean your energy in yourself. Okay, so next sin would be wrath. And wrath is anger. So this is a situation when somebody is upset, he's in panic, there's a lot of anxiety here because he's not maybe happy about something, or this person is very much in conflict. And deep in the background, there are some fears and insecurity in this person. So when this person is not secure and there are lots of fears in this person, he becomes aggressive. So in the aggressiveness, there is this insecurity that something, whatever I might lose something might happen to me. So this becomes aggressive. So now at the moment, I think about all the wars, which is, wrath, which is aggression. And see how humanity is so behind spiritually. We're still drowning into these sins, and I'm not sure if we can get out of the bottom for the next hundreds of or thousands years. But that's another topic for another video. So the planet Mars with Saturn. Mars would be with aggression, because Mars is the warrior. Mars is the one who is risky, like it's the Aries, he goes into wars. So afflicted Mars, which means Mars getting challenging aspects from other planets, can give this aggression or wrath in this person. So Mars with Saturn, challenging aspects, square or opposition. Because Mars is acting, I would like to act, but Saturn is a limitation. So if I want to act and I'm limited, I have obstacles, well, I get aggressive. So this between these two planets, challenging aspects can give this sin, wrath, and also challenging aspects between Mars and the Moon. So if you have Moon square Mars, Moon opposition Mars, Moon conjunction Mars, because the Moon is the emotions and Mars is anger, is action. So these people act on emotions. They don't think, they're just quick. So if if the person thinks that you've done something wrong to him, he starts shouting. He acts on the emotion. So this is the Mars Moon position, which is about conflict, anger, wrath. And here the remedy would be patience. Because if you are aware, you sit in your birth chart and you say, oh my God, I'm really like this, I'm very angry person and I get upset very easily, then with time you can work on it, and you can put it in your conscious mind, and you can say, okay, patience, count until 3, so there are a lot of ways to deal with it, with these sins. So there are no excuse, guys. We have to work on them. Also Mars retrograde. That's another topic for discussion. So a retrograde planet has to do with the energy going back into us. So as Mars is acting, when somebody has Mars retrograde in his birth chart, and that's quite rare, it means that person is prone to holding anger in himself, and he's prone to conflicts and aggression as well. But as I mentioned, I will talk about this in a whole video about retrograde planets. The next sin is greed. And greed is when you desire to have possessions more than needed. And when we talk about greed, today's materialistic world is a perfect example of this greediness, because everybody wants to have more. I have 2 houses, I want more. I have 5, I want 10, I need more. I have this salary, I want more. So we live in this materialistic world. Everybody runs for money. We want more and more. The more you earn, the more you want, the more you spend. And this is very common sin today. So the planet connected to that relates to greed in astrology is Jupiter, because Jupiter gives overexpansion, overindulgence, like too much of everything, too much than it is needed, really. And the sign that relates to these possessions, I would say, more and money, is Taurus. So in the background of this greediness, I want more, even if I don't need it, lies, this lack of personal qualities and skills. So when the person, this has again to do with possessions. When the person doesn't feel good enough, worth enough, and we talk about personal values now, like spiritual values or personal values, that this person turns into possessions. So I don't have skills, I don't work as a person, but I have 10 houses, I have possessions. So these people would like to replace lack of their qualities as a person. They replace it with material possessions, which is again very characteristic for this material 3D world we live, and we are kind of changing now. This also can be distracting energy, because a lot of money, the energy of the money, not everybody is ready to have the money, and money, a lot of money, and the death in astrology is in one house. So a lot of money can mean really destruction. Is an energy so we said Jupiter is the planet that rules with indulgence, expansion, give me more and more, like inflating things. And Jupiter rules with Sagittarius, so we can say in a way that Sagittarius, as an energy, is prone also to over exaggerating things. So challenging aspects with Jupiter, because now we talk about Jupiter, can lead to this greediness. So Mars in square with Jupiter, or opposition, or even the Sun with a square opposition with Jupiter. So if you see your Jupiter with red aspects, challenging aspects, then think about if you have these greediness for something in your life. And think about your values, like what's the real worth of you? Is it the bags you have, or your real skills, really? And obviously, to know all these things, one soul needs to be at least 30-40 years, and again, we need to reincarnate many times in order to improve ourselves. And the last sin, the seventh one, is sloth. So sloth has to do with avoiding responsibilities and being passive. And here again, I would mention the water signs, because fire is active, water is passive, so they are prone to sloth or laziness. And the planet that really relates to laziness is Neptune, and I'll explain you why. Because we talked that Neptune is the planet that is our fantasies, our dreams, our idealistic world. And when Neptune comes to this materialistic world of Kronos, he gets disappointed. He doesn't have motivation to act, and that he is basically lazy in this world because he just wants to dream and sleep and fantasize. These people, they have like the water signs, and especially Pisces here. Now we talk about Pisces. They don't have their emotional world is a real chaos. They don't have motivation to act, and they're drowning in their own emotions. So it is very important to make order in your emotional life, to think about your emotions, because Pisces is energy, and Neptune is the god of the seas, of the deep seas and oceans. So people are scared to dig inside them because they never know what can they dig up from there. Challenging aspect of Mars and Neptune. So if Mars is weakened by Neptune, we say in square or opposition, it means that this person does not have motivation to act, because Mars wants to act, to go into war, but that Neptune disappoints him, and Neptune says, well, this materialistic world is ridiculous. I don't want to be here. I don't want to act. So these people with Neptune, usually when we talk about Neptune, we talk and Pisces energy, we talk about depression. We talk also about addictions, because with these things, we can escape the reality and the miseries of the materialistic world. So also Mars in water signs can be lazy, because Mars is a fire. Mars wants to act, but when Mars is in water signs, well, he's passive, he's lazy. So again here, so check where your Mars is. And also Mars in Taurus can be lazy, because Mars in Taurus would like more to enjoy life, be bohemian, rather than jump around like Mars in Aries, for example. And the planet that really hates laziness is Saturn. We talk about Saturn because every 7 years Saturn makes us tests, and he says, okay, have you worked so far? What have you done? Show me. And if you were lazy, if you didn't do anything, if you relied on somebody else, if you didn't take responsibility, well, you're going to have a really difficult time with Saturn. So sloth, laziness is one of the seven deadly sin. Obviously there are much more, but these are like the one that are said to be like the traditional seven deadly sins or vices. And once we think about them, once we find them in our chart, we can work on them, whether this is with food, with emotions, with the moon, the overeating, or the greediness for money, maybe for material possession. So think about if you might have any of them, and I'm sure we all have some, at least two of them. We need to think about this. We need to think what is lacking in our personality, where is the root of the problem. Because if we don't find the root, we can never find a solution. And first of all, we have to admit it to ourselves. I know that in today's world it's taboo to admit these things, but well, we have to be honest with ourselves. We are entering the new age, there's energetic shift, so the world is changing. We have to change. If we don't change, well, we're gonna, the souls who are not ready to go into the new energetic world, they're leaving this earth, unfortunately. So that's why we need to be flexible. We need to go with the flow. We need to, Uranus is shaking our value system. We need to think what's more valuable. Is it the material things, or the spiritual, or what do I value in my life? And change, because change is what we really need in this time, because we live in a very important time. This is like the Renaissance time in the Middle Ages, when the world went from the Dark Ages into the New World. And obviously for the people then was not easy at all, because they lived the transition, but they were very brave souls. And today we are in a very, very similar situation. So we chose this time, we chose our missions, we knew what is going to happen on the earth. So we need to be brave and just go with it. And to be honest, like the more I read about astrology and these things and the history and what was happening in the history with, the history is repeating all this conjunction of planets. They bring similar things. And the more I'm happy that actually this 2020 happened, because it made big changes in everybody's life. I was also one of the people who was into that machine of working and not thinking about the wisdom. I always wanted to read, to be wise, to preach, but I didn't have time. So I was in that machine, and basically I woke up before 2020, like several months before the pandemic outbreak came. And when it happened, I thought, yes, this is a sign from the universe that I'm on the right way. So guys, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, you can contact me through my Facebook page, Astro Maria UK. You can also visit my YouTube channel, Astro Maria. I also have a website, Astro Maria Co. UK. It's not developed very well, but I will. And also you can message me and say, Maria, can you prepare this topic? It's very interesting. Or question, if you have any questions, I'm happy to do some research, because this is what I love doing, really. And I can make you another video. So next time I'm gonna be here again is Monday on the 3rd of May, and I will be talking about something very interesting, and I will keep it in secret for now. So have a great day, and I'll see you all next week. Bye bye.